It's not the way I wanted to end my career, but I can feel proud of the job that the team did, and Brumos and all the drivers were fantastic. So I'm not happy because we didn't win, but I'm happy because it was still a great effort.
Chuck Dressing said you ran a 142.2 lap, your final lap, possibly as a professional race driver. Is ending the career with an exclamation point?
Well, it was fun to do. I was kind of doing it because the guys at Brumos are all big stock car fans, and one of them said, if you get close to Jimmy Johnson, I want you to be able to run with him and see if you can pass him. So I got on his tail, and we were having a pretty good time, and that's where the lap came from. So it was fun, and Jimmy's a class act. He's really great. Not only is he a great stock car driver, but he's also a very good sports car driver. So it was a pleasure to be able to race with him on my final lap.
Questions for Hurley?
You didn't really wax. I'm back here in the left, Hurley. You didn't really wax romantic about your career here, and this is supposed to represent the last time you'll drive competitively. Are you looking back at the years that you've competed here, and are those thoughts running through your head when you were driving or subsequent to since the car is parked?
Well, when you get to be my age and you look back, this was my 37th running here at Daytona, they all kind of flow together. So each one is memorable. I think with the exception of one time, they've all been with Porsche. So, Porsche and Daytona for me have been side by side, and all of my success have come behind the wheels of Porsches. I've been lucky to win this 5 times. I've had, I think, 14 or 15 wins overall here, and all of those have been in a Porsche. So Porsche has been good to me, and Daytona has been good to me. My very, very first race of my entire career was done here as a regional race of Paul Whiteman, and that was back in 1969 with the 911R, and we've been trucking ever since. So it's family here, and even though this is my last professional race, I'm still, going to do vintage races, and we'll certainly come down to Daytona to race, and I'll be with the team at all the other races for the rest of the year and the coming years as a part of the management team. So everybody's going to see me, but I'm just not going to be behind the wheel.
Dwight?
Dwight Drum, RaceTech.com. Hurley, could you talk a little bit about what, as far as your long career goes, what's been the best part about it? What's been the toughest part about it?
Well, the best part is that when I started racing, Peter Gregg immediately, I was driving a Corvette, and that's what I beat Peter in, and he immediately switched me over to Porsche. And said, if you want to win races on a constant rate, you better be driving a Porsche. So I switched to Porsche. A 911S was my first race car, and that relationship has been just phenomenal. And when I look back at my career, I certainly could not have done what I have done without driving a Porsche. That's just plain and simple. And that backing up that, I have always been really, really, really lucky to drive for fantastic teams. You can have a great car, but if you don't have the team to back the car up, it's kind of a wasted effort. So I have really been lucky to drive for very well managed, very well financed teams, and luckily those teams have all decided to race a Porsche. So it's been a nice relationship.
What are your thoughts on seeing the number 9 car atop the scoreboard in the Action Express team, which shares space under your tent?
Well, it's, Barbosa and Terry Borcheller have driven with me for the last 2 years here, so I consider them teammates. The 9 car runs out of our garage, but it's not part of the Brumos effort. so a lot of the crew and a lot of the personnel that we have in our team has been assigned to that car. So it's kind of mixed feelings. I'm glad that they're doing well. It is a Porsche, even though it's a V8. So if it's lucky and can win the race, Porsche still gets the credit. But they're doing a great job, and the V8's a good motor.
Joe Jennings.
Hurley, Joe Jennings, Motorsport.com. Hurley, going into this weekend, taking your last ride, is there any special emotion, either when you got in the car for the final time or when you got out of the car for the final time?
Well, I think there was more emotion when I knew getting in that this was going to be my last professional stint. When you're driving and you're the hectic, you're concentrating and all that kind of stuff, you don't tend to think about things like that. At least I don't. And we made the pit stop, and you're trying to get all the sequence of doing your belts and doing all the things that you got to do before a pit stop happens, that you don't really think about it. And when I got into the pits, everybody was crying and with tears in their eyes. So I guess it was more emotional for them than it was for me at that point. But I'm sure that when I think about it tomorrow or in a week or a month from now, it will get emotional, because I know that I will never be in a race car professionally again.
Any more questions?
But that doesn't mean I'm going to not be in a race car. I will be in a race car, but just not professionally.
Thank you very much. Congratulations on a great career, Hurley Haywood.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the support, everybody. Thank you.